Hi, my name is Steve Deming. I'm the Partner Solutions Advisor for the Mid-Atlantic District for Microsoft. Today I wanted to take a few moments to show you a brief overview demonstration of how you could present the features and functionalities of Office 365 in 5 to 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and get started. I've already opened up the environment and I'm logged in as one of the demonstration users, in this case, Karen Berg. What I'd like to start with is showing how Karen has access to the administrative capabilities of Office 365. So we'll open up the browser, and from the browser, what we're going to do is move over to the Administrative tab. Now, under the Administrative tab, you've got a number of choices and options available to you. The most important ones that we wanted to direct your attention to included the list of users, in which case you can see all of the users that have been created in this environment. They're listed alphabetically by first name. And of course, you can return back to the top of the administrative page. We also wanted to make sure that you're aware that you have access to managing and manipulating other domain names. This is a common question. How do I add a domain name, and what is my current domain name? The one that's listed for your demo account is listed right here. If you have ownership of other domain names, you can go ahead and add them right here. And of course, there are additional instructions on how to buy domains or transfer domains that are actively in use, and considerations around all of that. Other administrative tools allow you to see which licenses you have and also get access to various support resources to support both your trial as well as your official Office 365 environment. All of this is available to any of the administrative users as defined by your administrative tool. What I'd now like to do is switch gears and show you Karen's Outlook. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you the Outlook through the Outlook web app. So this is the browser-based version of the Outlook, and as you can see, it shows the regular navigation area, it shows the various contacts that are available, it shows a preview of all of the messages grouped by conversation, and a preview of the message that we're currently on. And of course, as you select other messages, the preview changes accordingly. What I like about this is that this has the same look and feel as the dedicated Outlook client. Let's go ahead and open that up. And you'll see that the dedicated Outlook client does have the exact same look and feel as the browser. Detailed formatting may look a little bit different, but I still see my conversation associated with the sales budget. I still see the individual messages, like for the company picnic. And when I select that message, of course, I get the preview of that message. And it's the same preview that we saw before. However, because I'm in the Outlook client, I might see additional information such as the picture of the person who sent the message or pictures of the other people that are on that message thread as part of the Outlook Social Connector tools. What we'd like to do is we'd like to just show you that in a conversation, such as the conversation that's up here, there are a number of tools that are exposed to us that allow us to manage and manipulate that conversation better. This gives us extra control and flexibility in the Outlook environment. So for example, if I knew that I wanted to clean up any duplicates that were involved in this particular message thread, I could come here to the cleanup and select the appropriate cleanup conversation, cleanup folder, or cleanup folder and subfolders. In my case, I'd be cleaning up the conversation if this was the only conversation I wanted to clean up, or I'd clean up the folder if I wanted to remove all the duplicates from all the messages in this folder. If I knew that it was a message that I didn't want to see the current message or any of the follow-up messages, such as perhaps this message on the company picnic, in a message like that, when I select that particular message, one of the things that I can do is I can come up here to the Ignore. Underneath the Ignore, I'm able to ignore not only this message, but all future threaded conversation components associated with that particular message. Again, giving me greater control and flexibility over the overall messaging environment. Next, what I'd like to show you is that if I go to a particular message, I've got the ability to do simple things like categorize this message using the categories capability. and I can define what those categories are, or I can flag this message for future follow-up. All of these are very easy to access straight out of the Outlook interface, and even though the Exchange is really Exchange Online, it fully supports all these capabilities: the threaded conversation, the flagging, and the categorization accordingly. Now, since we've looked at the Outlook client for a few moments, I want to return back to our Outlook web app. Coming back over here to the Outlook web app, I'd like to take a particular message, such as this message on the company picnic, and I'd like to forward this message to one of my coworkers. What's important to note is even though this is a browser-based client, a browser-based application, I still have the ability to right-click and select forward. Once I select forward, I'm able to go ahead and define who I'd like to send this message to. In this case, I'd like to send it to Eric. And notice that it does the automatic fill, tells me about Eric's name since I've sent messages to him in the past, and that's the person I'd like to send this message to. And off it goes. This experience is consistent, just like the regular Outlook experience, except that it's all being delivered through the browser client. Now, since I'm looking at this particular message, what I'd like to do is that before I send it off, I'd actually like to show you that not only can I use Eric's name here, but if I right-click on Eric's name, I can even go as far as opening up a chat window with Eric. This effectively is opening up the capability of chatting with Eric through the browser interface. Again, I'm not necessarily using the Lync client here, I'm using the browser-based interface. To show you that it works, let me go ahead and do a quick hello to Eric. And for demonstration purposes, you should make sure that you've got another machine or another environment that you can go ahead and respond with, or make arrangements with someone else to do the response for you. And so Eric's going to respond back, and I see Eric's response. Again, all being done through the browser client. Consistent experience is one of the powers of Office 365. Let's go ahead and show one last consistent experience, and that's going to be associated with the calendar. I'm going to just go ahead and toss out that message I was going to send to Eric. Come over here to the calendar environment. And from the calendar environment, I'd like to go ahead and set up a new meeting. I can select a time and date, double-click, and effectively request to set up a meeting. And again, using the scheduling assistant, I can go ahead and invite other people to this meeting, and we'll go ahead and invite Eric for consistency. And again, sending this message off sends it off to Eric's inbox, and he'll be receiving that in just a few moments. Now, we've looked at Outlook both from a dedicated client point of view as well as the Outlook browser app. I'd like to go ahead and show you some of the other capabilities of the Office 365 environment. Let's switch for a few moments over to our SharePoint environment. This is represented by the tab link for the team site. By selecting the team site, I switch over to the SharePoint environment. And this one has already been adjusted and customized for our Contasso corporate space. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and select one of the team subsites, in this case, the sales subsite. Underneath the sales subsite, there are a number of documents that have already been posted, as well as various components, web parts, that have been brought up and posted. These various components and web parts are all visible here, just as though they were little applications. They just happen to be web parts that show a brief little video, or web parts that show some of the data that might be available to us as far as key performance indicators. In my case, the reason I've come here is because I'd like to take a look at the sales documents. So I'm going to go ahead and select on the sales documents and dedicate my view to only looking at the sales documents overall. From these sales documents, I would like to get some input from Eric regarding some of the documents that are listed here. So again, I can go ahead and select Eric And in this case, because I'm working with the browser, rather the SharePoint environment, I actually get the little icon that indicates that Eric is available, and I can set up an instant message chat with Eric right from here. Once the chat window comes up, I'm going to go ahead and just ask Eric if he can assist me. So the first thing that I'd like Eric to do is I could take this regular chat and I could escalate it. If I wanted to, I could escalate it into a phone call. If I had Eric's phone number inside the system, I could escalate it into a video chat if we had a camera attached. But in my case, all I'm interested in doing is asking for Eric to show me both the sales proposal and the presentation. So what Eric's going to do is from his workstation, he's going to go ahead and start sharing those items from his screen so that I can follow along with whatever he's doing. So Eric is going to go ahead and select from underneath the share, he's going to select to share a program. Now, I want to show you what the experience is like as a recipient of this, so I'm not going to share it from Karen's screen. I'm going to actually share it from Eric's screen so that you can see what this looks like as a recipient. Eric starts by selecting to share his screen. Karen accepts the sharing. And at this point, Karen's screen is going to refresh so that it's actually showing us what's on Eric's screen. So at this point, Karen isn't actually going to be manipulating the screen. It'll all be up to Eric. So the first thing Eric would like to show is he'd like to show the sales proposal. So he's going to just go ahead and select the sales proposal, and using the the Word web viewer, he's going to actually be able to view the document right here in Word. We see the graphics, we see the formatting, we see the content, all from within Word. Eric then returns back to the shared documents, and he does the same process for a PowerPoint presentation. In this case, the PowerPoint presentation comes up, and Eric's able to go ahead and move through the various slides of the PowerPoint presentation. Now, if Karen would like, Karen can ask to take control of Eric's screen. But we're not going to do that in this case. What we'd like to do is, Karen's seen everything that she wanted to see. The last thing that she wanted to do is she wanted us to collaborate for a few minutes on some of the numbers involved in the proposal spreadsheet. So at this point, Eric is going to stop sharing his screen. And Karen is going to hide the stage so that she frees up her screen. And at this point, both Eric and Karen are going to go into the same presentation, or the same document, I should say. Specifically, they're both going to go into the Northwind financial analysis. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up on Karen's desktop, and at the same time, I'm going to open it up on Eric's desktop. Now, this is co-editing, and the co-editing in the Excel capabilities are acknowledged by a little indicator in the lower right-hand corner that indicates when two people are working on the same document. In this case, both Eric and Karen are working on the same document, so that as Eric makes changes, in this case, let's have Eric change the sales for the computers from 1.8 billion to 0. Oh, of course, there's one additional step that I forgot to take, which was to actually edit this in the browser. My mistake. There we go. And now we actually see that This Excel spreadsheet is now available, and currently one person is editing the spreadsheet. In just a moment here, I will get Eric in. And that one person editing will be adjusted to be 2 people, including who the other editor is. Now that both people are in editing the spreadsheet, now I can go to those computer sales, type in the value of 0, and not only will we see the spreadsheet change, but we also see the graph automatically updates to reflect the change. This is what co-editing in Excel looks like. With that, I just wanted to thank you for watching this brief presentation on an overview of how to demonstrate the general capabilities of Office 365. Thank you.